From the Keith Vincent Kaola Studios in Patterson, New Jersey, Green Hour Media proudly presents Is This Real? Tonight, Alchemy. What the flying fuck is it? And now your host, JC3.
Hey there, fellow truth seekers. Are you ready to dive deep into the mysteries of the universe? Look no further than isisrealpc.com, your one-stop destination for all things mysterious and unexplained. From captivating podcast episodes to thought-provoking articles, our website is packed with fascinating content that will leave you questioning reality. Visit isisrealpc.com today and join our community of curious minds as we explore the unknown together. Don't just wonder, discover the truth today at isisrealpc.com. Welcome, everybody, to another fantastic episode of Is This Real?
Is this real?
Tonight's episode, as you heard Mr. Happy over here say, Big Joe, we are talking about alchemy and what alchemy is. We'll definitely get into what the flying fuck is it. In the booth tonight,
That was great.
we have Big Joe. Big Joe, say hello.
Fuck you.
Okay. We have Yokozuna himself. Tony, say hello.
Fuck me. I'm the Pope.
Yeah, you're the Pope. Mr. West and his beautiful girlfriend, Maria.
the
Hello.
Pope.
Welcome to our booth, Maria. Mr. West, you're in the building?
Fuck something.
Okay.
We're just-
Roadblock behind the booth, as always. Say hello, Roadblock.
Fuck it.
You know what?
I had
Rated
to keep,
R episode.
I had to keep the theme. I'm sorry. All right.
Oh, fuckity, fuck.
Exactly.
Fuck. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week. That's
I'm the fucking Pope. Oh, see, you
Anywho,
could have
so-
done that.
alchemy. What do we know about alchemy? I
I
know
know.
you.
I know.
What have you heard about alchemy?
Alchemy is when one thing you do some magic voodoo horse shit and it turns into another thing. They used to think that you could turn like something into gold. Like that was the whole thing with alchemy. It's like I want gold, so I have this rock and I'll do some voodoo to it, mix some chemicals, and it'll be gold. But that's not how anything works.
Right.
Okay, Big Joe.
The only thing I can think of, and it's not just, you're right about the gold turning things, matter into different things.
Yeah.
But there's also religious alchemy.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
okay.
there's also spiritual alchemy. So the
path I
name
went down.
the name actually pertains. Basically, what it means is it's going to transform one thing into another, whether it's religion, whether it's gold, whether it's any kind of I'm lost for words. here.
Regardless if it's physical
Metal.
or spiritual.
Right?
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
art
that's
of
it.
alchemy.
That's that. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
Is that the only thing you were gonna say? It's like this is what it is.
But
Yeah,
by
yeah,
what
that's-
means? But like, you know what I mean? Like, if
so
I
like the material wise, like there's a few key people in alchemy that you've probably heard of. So, in pop culture, in Harry Potter,
Yeah.
Nicholas Flamel.
Right.
That was someone that was
he was an alchemist.
he was an alchemist, that he was a French scribe or some shit
Yeah.
like that they found things 200 years after he died, and they kind of claimed that he was an alchemist for that. No one can have the proof for it, but that's just like he was in Harry Potter. That was one of them.
Okay.
Okay.
There was two people, forgetting their names, but they were kind of like the base of what like the Kabbalah turned into, like in the religious aspect.
Okay.
But yeah, the whole purpose of it was just to pretty much just like transforming something into a higher state of what it is. Like spiritually, they're talking like your consciousness. You're taking your consciousness and going from your base form, which is like the physical representation of like what lead could be.
Yeah.
And you're transmuting that into gold, which would be like
Transmuting is a good word.
that's what it is.
That's a big word for Elmo. But that. All right. So what I have here is basically they say it's a precursor to modern chemistry.
Chemistry was involved, yes.
So it has captured the imaginations of thinkers, philosophers, and seekers of knowledge
Isaac
for
Newton
centuries.
was part of it.
But what exactly is it, and what secrets do it hold? To understand alchemy, we must first explore its origins, emerging in ancient Egypt and later flourishing in Hellenistic Greece. I'm guessing Helen, Troy, shit like that.
Like old ancient.
I was young at the time.
ancient Greek.
You're not going to add anything to this episode tonight. Cool, thank you. Alchemy was a philosophical tradition that sought to transform base metals into gold, like we said, and discover the elixir of life.
Yeah,
The
that was also
life.
part of like what made Nicholas Flamel famous. That he supposedly discovered the Philosopher's Stone. That's something in pop culture that we've heard of.
Well, yeah. So what exactly are like practices of it? You know what I'm saying? Like, what would be like things that we could sit here and talk about? Like, how would they transform things into it? That's what my like. How? What is the?
Which one are you talking about? You talking about physical? You talking about spiritual? I mean,
Well, either way, what are the practices? Sit there and like, okay, so I want to turn something into gold. What would you do to do it? You know what I'm saying?
They were trying to break it. They were trying to break down the matter, and still keep the same like substance. You know how like it when you fuck with things, You know how like you have mixtures which are like they're mixed with certain things, but they still have their original composition in it, and then you have solutions, which is just a completely different blend of things. They were trying to like break down that same matter or metal in this case, if it was like lead or whatever, but lead was pretty much just the popular one. Let's just go with that.
Yeah.
So if I had like,
And they're trying to turn, and they were trying to turn that
okay, so
into gold.
so if I took, this is gonna be a very crude example, but just hear me out.
We wouldn't expect anything less.
If I took a Lego set of like the Titanic
Okay.
and I took it apart, and you have all the pieces laid out, like each piece in and of itself still has its own dimensions and characteristics, but then I rebuild and I use those Legos and say I turn them into like, I don't know, like John Wayne Gacy's bedroom. Like it's still, that's kind of what you're talking about, right? You're breaking everything down to a tiny little piece, and then you're rebuilding everything so they're now something
On an
new.
on an atomical level, yes.
Okay, so
What-
I get it.
What they also turned around and said that they're trying to remove impurities from metal to create another metal. That's what it was. So it would be like if there's something that's impure, they would try to take those impurities and turn it into gold, basically.
well, the gold realm, they have a process called smelting. What that is, it's melting the gold to put into ingots and bars and everything else. And the fact that this stuff gets so hot, it actually gets rid of all the impurities. And they smelt the gold, and then it becomes, a different form. It's still gold, but it's in a bar form, or it's in a ingot, or whatever they want, whatever they want to call it.
Yeah.
But that's
Is that
what that
like
goes
that's
on.
kind of like how they like. So then 24 karat gold wouldn't be like gold in its purest form then.
Right.
Yeah, so basically transmutation, the ability of one element to morph into
A
another.
lot of times what they're doing is, and it's funny because I currently am watching a show on Discovery.
Not sponsored, by the way.
It's called, can't think of the name, what the hell it's called.
Whatever it is, not sponsored, by the way.
The Mystery at Blind Frog Ranch. What it is there's gold in the mountains, and they're trying to get to it. Of course,
Wasn't that the same ranch that the lady was talking to us about?
yeah, it's a great show. It's out in Utah. It's there's weird stuff going on the thing that
Is it related to the Skinwalker Ranch?
They're north of the Skinwalker Ranch by 15 miles. They don't have quite the different. It's a different type of where Skinwalker Ranch is dealing with the
phenomenon,
and all that stuff. They're also digging on the property. There's a lot of crazy shit. Here, they actually went into a mine on one of the episodes where they drilled into one of the places where they were told don't drill because there's some kind of force in there. So they did, and they went down to this thing, and then.
But they found gold.
Well, they didn't find the gold. Yeah, they found one little piece of gold. Little piece of gold, and now currently they're going into without going off on the whole thing here. They found a way in to get into the bottom to look for the gold. They found a giant box buried in there, but it had giant rocks in it, and in the rocks there was solid gold, a solid silver metal, and they couldn't figure out what it was. They put the metal in their hands as a solid form, and it actually became liquid in their hands. And they turned out to find out it's called gallium.
Yeah.
Gallium is, you can buy that. Gallium is what they put in. I think they put in pens now, and stuff like that. But anyway, they also think that gallium was very, very expensive back in the day. They injected it into these rocks and they buried it as kind of a treasure. Anyway, that would be an alchemist type of thing. Breaking the rocks open, taking the gallium, melting it, and doing what you know.
Yeah, but like in that case though, like the gallium is called.
It's called gallium.
Yeah.
But it's still gallium at that point, and
Right.
it's just like turning from like one state of matter to another. It's kind
Correct.
of like
Liquid to
like
solid.
water,
Yeah,
water.
Exactly.
It's like ice. It's like ice melting into water, but it just like happened instantly.
Right. I mean, every time you boil water for macaroni, you're doing alchemy, because what you're doing is you're taking the water, you're boiling, and then the steam that's coming out of it, you're changing water into steam. That's alchemy.
Well, no, that's not alchemy. That's chemistry.
Oh, chemistry is
Because it's
alchemy.
still the same. No, it's not. It's still
You're
the same
changing.
thing. You're changing the form that it's in, but it's
Right.
not. It's not a different chemical. Alchemy is you're taking this chemical and changing it into that chemical by some means. Like you can have a gold piece of lead. I'm sorry, you can have a lead bar,
Mhm.
and you want it to be a gold bar.
Mhm.
You use alchemy,
Okay.
and it's still
All
a
right.
bar.
So I apologize. I'm wrong there, but I thought it was just transforming the state of
Oh,
whatever.
yeah, that's chemistry.
Whatever.
Well, yeah. I mean, okay, so we have that.
Next subject.
Are we good with time so far, Joshua?
But alchemy kind of gave birth to like what modern chemistry. Like,
That's
is.
true. Yeah, I did know that.
Yeah, it's like the precursor.
It's because people didn't know what they were doing and they were fucking around so much and like, hey, we kind of discovered this other thing. It's not the exact thing we want, but it's kind of there. So chemistry.
I give you kudos. You knew Skinwalker Ranch. That's fine. That's good. I like to hear that.
We didn't hear from Joshua at all this segment. Joshua, what do you think?
Honestly, I thought alchemy was more potions and stuff like that. Originally, like when I was younger.
Like witchcraft.
Yeah,
That doesn't
kind of
exist.
like that. But this is gonna sound weird, but I learned technically what alchemy was because of Full Metal Alchemist. I'm not gonna lie.
Word.
Like that whole thing where it,
Word.
took two things and then combined it to make a new thing. That kind of like freaked me out. And I'm pretty sure we all know what the hell I'm talking about when I
Never saw
mentioned that.
Full Metal Alchemist.
It's
so-
a great show, by the way. You'll like.
Not sponsored, by the way.
Not sponsored. Not sponsored. Just a great story.
Yeah, but that's the only real little bit of alchemy that I ever really knew of. Like I said, when I was younger, I thought it was like potions, stuff like that.
Understood. All right. All right. So I think
Is that the whole episode?
no, that's not the whole episode. You
Thank
dick.
you and good night.
No, we will get into in the next segment when we come back from break, spiritual alchemy, and that is like the cleansing of oneself. Look at his face; he hates this entire season. We'll be right back. Please go listen to some of our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Are you a filmmaker, cosplayer, or special effects enthusiast looking to take your creations to the next level? Then look no further than New Rule FX. From realistic props to professional grade special effects equipment, New Rule FX has everything you need to bring your vision to life. Explore their extensive catalog of high-quality products and unleash your creativity like never before. Visit our link in the description to shop now below.
Hey everybody, I'm JC3.
And I'm Mr. West.
And this episode is brought to you by Dubby. Made by professionals in the USA, Dubby was formulated to give you focus and energy with no jitters or crash. Their formula contains vitamins, amino acids, including the patented neurofactor. You know what Dubby doesn't give you?
What's that?
No calories,
No calories.
no sugars,
No sugar.
no fillers,
No fillers.
and no artificial flavors. When the raw ingredients arrive to their FDA-registered and inspected facility that strictly adheres to GMP guidelines, they undergo a quarantine while a small sample of each ingredient is taken to test for any impurities, while also being tested to ensure that the ingredients are actually what they are supposed to be and have the proper dosage.
And once the ingredients pass all the tests, then they're cleared to get mixed into the formula. So head on over to w.gg and use our offer code IsThisRealPC for 10% off your first order. That's DUBBY.GG and use the code IsThisRealPC for 10% off. They have great flavors such as Galaxy Grenade, Dub Sludge, Pass and Joy Tea, Monkey Madness, and Dragonade. My personal favorites.
Dragonade right here. I got Dragonade right here. Delicious.
Drink Dubby.
And be better.
These products are not intended to diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease.
Who wants better sex? And who wants better sex starting now? The best way to get started is go to adamandeve.com.
Adam and Eve is offering 50% off just any item.
But that's not all. When you select your one item, you will also get 3 bonus items. That includes a gift for him, a special gift for her, and a gift you'll both like.
Plus 6 free movies for your viewing pleasure and free shipping.
There is discreet shipping as your privacy is priority. Plus 100% free shipping on your entire order.
Doesn't matter how much you spend or what you buy, it will all be packaged and sent discreetly for free.
Don't wait. Better sex is just one click away.
That's 50% off one item, 3 free gifts, 6 free movies, and free shipping.
Bring more pleasure and satisfaction to your bedroom.
Just go to adamandeve.com and select any one item. It could be an adventurous new toy or anything you desire.
Just enter code QUESTION at checkout.
That's question, QUESTION at adamandeve.com.
This exclusive offer is specific to this podcast only. So be sure at checkout you punch in the code QUESTION. That is QUESTION at checkout. And get your 50% off one item, 10 free gifts, and free shipping. Remember, use code QUESTION. Also remember to listen to Is This Real every Sunday at 8 o'clock with new episodes starting July 16th. Remember, everybody, question everything and put that question at the end of your checkout.
adamandeve.com.
Welcome back, everybody, to our alchemy episode. We just talked about the physical alchemy. You know, turning
Physical alchemy.
one thing into another, taking impurities out of metal, stuff
Actually,
like that.
we as humans actually do make physical alchemy.
We do
Yeah.
food.
No, we make babies. We make other humans.
That's
Take it from somebody who made 4. Stop that way of thinking right now
Okay.
while you have a fucking chance.
okay. Spiritual alchemy.
Spiritual alchemy.
What?
Spiritual alchemy.
Apparently,
Do
there are
yourself a
7
favor.
stages of spiritual alchemy.
There's what?
7 stages of spiritual alchemy.
Okay.
Are we ready for them?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Stage 1 is calcination.
Denial. Oh.
Is the first stage of spiritual alchemy, is also known as the black stage. Calm down. The black color represents chaos, that which is hidden and buried, and the material is unconscious, of the unconscious. It also refers to the materia prima, which is the idea of the occult sciences.
Maybe.
That all matter in the universe emerged from an original primitive base.
That whole first one sounds metal.
Metal. He likes it. Calcination.
Is it because there's chaos involved?
Yes.
He just loves chaos.
Yeah.
It's true.
It is true.
Yes.
Calcination refers to the burning of the materia
This is that
prima. No, this is calcination. Is still the first one.
Oh, this is still the first one.
Until it is transformed into ash. In the spiritual sense, it refers to breaking our worldly attachments, the desire for status, wealth, and the need to solidify our identity.
Now, just to throw something in there, the materia prima, that's something that is part of alchemy. It's, I believe, salt, sulfur.
Dead air.
It's a third.
Paprika?
Paprika.
What?
Paprika. But it's pretty much just like 3.
Are you making French fries?
It's like 3 like fundamental shits of like alchemy and shit.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's the basic, the street term. The street fundamental shits to the alchemy and shit. It's breaking our worldly attachments, desire for status, wealth, and the need to solidify our own identities. It's not to say these things are wrong, but according to the process, the development of a higher level of consciousness and the refinement of the spirit is hindered by these attachments.
So the age-old question of why are we here? What is my purpose? You're supposed to forego that shit in order to be cleansed.
Yes.
Okay.
Calcination also refers to the burning off of all of our
Mercury.
superfluous elements of ourselves that no longer serve us.
I'm not getting rid of my fleshlights.
You better get rid of them shits, bro.
You have that knife on you?
Yeah.
Bet. Step 2, dissolution. The second stage of spiritual alchemy involves dissolving the ashes in water. Water could be interpreted as a symbol for the unconscious, calm down, Anthony, which contains the hidden parts of ourselves of which we are afraid and up until now have not been explored. Dissolution can be understood as a stage in which we free ourselves from our inauthentic and acquired sense of identity.
So all the things that
It's kind of like Buddhism.
So all the things like no, this is the things I like. This is like jewelry or clothing or
You're like giving up.
sort of,
You're giving up like your materials things.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
We're dissolving things in of solid material,
yes.
like salt dissolves into water. That's basically what it is. Step 3 is separation. In the separation stage, the pure essence of is extracted from the rest of the mixture. As the first 2 stages were associated with fire and water, separation is related to the air element. In a spiritual sense, it can be understood as separation from one's habitual thought processes or emotional trigger responses in order to step back and distinguish our essence from our acquired personality.
You don't want to whiff of my essence.
Nobody does.
No. I think if anybody whiffs your essence, they're in the hospital for at least a week. Separation is a very liberating stage where we can free ourselves of resentment towards ourselves and others.
I don't resent anything.
I resent you. It is the kind of liberation from negative emotions. By doing so, we can become aware of our true feelings. We separate ourselves from our inauthentic selves and step closer to our essential or higher self.
What you think about this, Big Joe?
Oh, he hates it already.
If I want to get in touch with my higher self, I'll smoke some Babbage.
It's not that I think about anything. It just, to me, it's like...
That's only step 3.
Oh, we have more?
It's hooey.
4 more steps.
4 more. Oh, great.
Okay.
Step 4 is conjunction.
Conjunction.
Conjunction refers to the process of combining the
Conjunction,
elements
function.
from the previous 3 stages. In a sense, we will still we see what still remains within us, which is of value, and then begin to combine these elements to form one's authentic self. After the first 3 stages of purification by fire, water, and air, our disparate elements are brought together under the earth element. We begin a process of embodiment as the spirit begins to process of materialization.
This is like the same shit. Like I feel like I'm listening to like the ideas of the cults from last season.
I mean, some of the cults that we talked about could have added elements of alchemy into their practices.
It's all stupid.
Yeah, see, I don't understand what this has got to do with alchemy. To me, alchemy is
spiritual
transforming.
It's spiritual.
All right, I get that, but you're not transforming one into another. You're giving up certain things.
You're transforming yourself into a better person. That's what it's supposed to be.
You could transform yourself into a better person by not doing anything wrong, by not doing anything stupid.
Well, no, I mean, you could...
by thinking about what you're going to do before you do
Look,
it.
Anthony doesn't do anything wrong, but he's still an asshole.
That's right. That's right. I've done nothing wrong. I'm innocent. Don't you subpoena me. There's nothing that anyone can say to bring it. There's no physical evidence.
But that's what I'm saying. Like even what, like we could all say that we haven't done anything wrong in our lives, but we're all still assholes.
Speak for yourself.
Not people in general assholes.
People suck.
Exactly.
Everyone does.
Most people just want to be respected at the end of the day. That's really it.
Thank you.
Everybody
You're
just-
absolutely right.
Everybody just wants to be respected and wants a hug. That's really it.
That's fine, but getting to the core of people, like
That's what it is.
people suck.
Yeah, but it comes down to like
I just want
I'll
my
respect I'll respect you if you don't kill me, and and you don't kill me if I respect
See, that's
you.
why people do suck. I'll give you that much. But that's why you surround yourself with good people. You surround yourself with.
But then it comes into a whole thing of
Yeah,
like
I
good
mean,
and interpreting what good
but
and
that's what
bad
I'm saying.
is.
You
Like,
could-
it
but
becomes perspective.
Even with that, you could still be a good person and still be an asshole.
Exactly.
Like I think we're all good people in this room.
I don't think I am.
You're a
I
good
think
person.
you're a good person.
You're a good person.
You're a good person. See, he needs a hug. Give him a hug. Give him a hug. I was talking. Okay. But I think we're all also assholes in this room.
I'm a card-carrying scumbag. I know that.
More
Listen,
than
listen. Just an hour and a half ago, I was watching that show. Just an hour and a half ago, I was watching that show, Love on the Spectrum, and I was making fun of
that.
everybody.
Shut up.
No.
Whoa. Seriously? I say one word and you guys want to shut the podcast down, but you can say that?
Well, no,
Whoa,
love
I
on the
was-
spectrum is an actual thing. He didn't call them an R word.
Yeah, I'm not there because they're not. They're not R-worded.
That's an actual show.
That's an actual show.
Yes.
It's called Love on the Spectrum.
Fucking TV sucks.
And I was making fun of everybody on the show, not
He's an
just the
asshole.
people who are on the spectrum.
So let me ask you a question. I mean, maybe it's off topic, but
but I also I was like,
why would
wait,
they put a show up there?
It's for
with-
views. It's
For
for
what?
It's for views. It's for
Well,
it's
they're
'cause
not calling them.
It's a different way of life.
But
was
people
about
are
to say-
making fun of them.
No.
No,
See,
people
I'm
are not
making fun of them.
He's making fun. They're taking it as an actual dating show.
Yeah, it's
Like
serious.
it's an actual serious dating
Yeah.
show in which it's like a reality program.
It's like it's serious. Like they're talking.
I'm
he,
not gonna lie, it's actually pretty interesting.
yeah, like
It's interesting seeing
he,
them,
like they're talking
Maybe I
about
have a
like real
different sense
people.
of humor than the rest of you. I don't know.
no.
but-
They talk
I
about their
love
likes,
you,
their
man.
dislikes. The one guy's counting the seeds
Back
on the
on
bagel.
topic,
Like
please.
it's just whatever.
We're getting back on topic.
It's. But here's the thing. Like I make fun of everybody. I make fun of everyone, but I also teach people who are on the spectrum, and I'm very patient with them, and I
Takes
get a
one
lot.
to know one.
And I get a lot of results with people like that because they need to talk to them differently, and I do it without making myself.
Okay.
I do it
This
without.
is not
making-
about jerking you off.
I know that, but what I'm saying is I'm adding to your point. Like we're all assholes because I make fun of people on the spectrum, but at the same time, I also educate people
That's
who are on the,
the
spectrum.
lowest part of the totem pole,
No.
which I'm talking about, that makes you an
I
asshole.
go a little bit
Back
lower.
on
Edit that part out, 'cause
topic.
They really will come for his ass and fire him.
What are they gonna do? Write a bunch of signs that are misspelled? I also teach.
Back on topic, please.
Step 5. The fermentation.
Fermentation. Now we have to put all our souls and shit in a bottle and let it sit for a month.
It's the 5th stage that describes the decay of one's old self and the rebirth of one's true self.
Sure.
The first 4 stages involved discarding our old, inauthentic self and drawing together the authentic elements within us. At this stage, however, we catch a glimpse of a more refined, authentic self. This stage can be liked to the rebirth of the phoenix from its own ashes. Likened. That's the word.
You know, they wanted to pick it outside my house, but they read the address wrong and they were down the street.
I swear to fucking Christ.
I muted him.
Thank you. You're done.
That was fast.
At least for the segment he's done.
Yeah. For the process can be split into 2: petrification and spiritualization. Petrification is a rotting away of our former selves as the superfluous is let go. What?
Nothing.
It can also be a difficult stage and can involve strong feelings of depression or despair since we fear losing our identity, which is associated with our self, our true self. And spiritualization, meanwhile, gives great relief as we begin to see the world in a new and luminescent way. It involves letting go of of those parts of ourselves that no longer serve us in our present life. And as a result, this step can be accompanied by blissful feelings of inner peace and contentment.
Because you have nothing else. You have nothing else to hold you down or weigh you down. You have literally just emptiness. But in that emptiness, you could find a solace. Like, this is not alchemy. This is just the way it is.
This is spiritual alchemy. I'm not sitting here saying I believe it. Well, I'm saying this is the steps that people do follow.
Monks follow this shit.
I also
Okay.
think it's the same people that follow what we talked about last season.
Well, I mean, would you consider
to get into one of these cults, it sounds like a cult thing. to me.
would you consider monks culty? No, they're religious.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So if they follow alchemy, it's not fucking cult.
Well, in that case, you got to say every nun is become an alchemist. Every priest.
Wouldn't a cult at that point just be like you're trying to gather more like-minded people?
Yeah, didn't we go through the whole
Maybe.
list of what makes a cult last season? Like
Yeah,
we
we
did
did,
that.
we did.
We have a checklist.
We do have a checklist,
But
and none of
this
these people are
sounds-
trying to get money.
But this does sound to me that's
No one's been abused.
part of it.
It's
that we know
part of it, right? It's not the
Hopefully.
whole thing. Like, there would be another. If this was a cult, you would have this stuff plus, like, also you need to empty your checking account to me.
Yeah,
Like that would be part of like
give me
what was it,
$10.
step 2.
Yeah.
It's like, get rid of all the negativity in your life, and then your bank account's a negative thing. So hand your bank account to me. That's a cult.
And I'll get rid of it. Step 6 is distillation. Shut up, dude. Stop it. This stage is when all the impurities are removed, and there is nothing left but the essence. In chemistry, distillation involves boiling and condensation to separate components, and is commonly used in
Alcohol.
desalination. Yeah, a liquid is boiled until it evaporates, and as the steam condenses, the essence is liberated from the matter. It marks the point at which our essence becomes spiritualized. In other words, in spiritual alchemy, distillations is a metaphor for the actualization of one's spirit.
It's kind of like pre-nirvana in
Yes.
in other religious aspects.
And then you have step 7, which is coagulation. The final stage is
quagmire?
coagulation, which describes the process of solidification, where one's essential self becomes whole. Coagulation refers to the process by which a liquid, typically blood, solidifies. It occurs when we are cut in order to form a scab. In spiritual alchemy, coagulation involves the solidification of our true self and can be likened to healing from a wound as we feel ourselves to be independent and complete.
Okay. There are several problems I have, like legitimate problems. I'm not making fun of this stuff
You
here.
always have problems.
But no,
go
but
ahead.
hold on a second. How the living fuck can anybody gauge any of this shit? This is not something you can measure. This is nothing tangible. This is spiritual.
It's spiritual. So it's
all up to the person who is
Exactly.
going through it. And at what point are you going to sit there and go, I believe them or I don't believe them?
well, it goes to the same point of the same people who sit there and goes, I found Jesus, or I found God. How do you know you found God? How do you know? It's that
Because they're doing life in prison.
okay.
That's about the only ones who find God.
It's the ones who sit there and like, okay, I found myself within religion. I've gotten myself
Right. Then it usually always after a traumatic experience
exactly.
or something that's harrowing and they decide to change their life around. That's fine.
It's the
that-
same thing.
Okay. That's wonderful and that's great and all. But my question then becomes how much of it is true? Because you can have someone who go, oh, I found Jesus or I found religion or I found a new
He was hiding under the
spirituality.
rock.
That's great that you say that and you might live your life in a different manner. Okay, fine. But nobody is one thing. And
Meaning
if you-
what?
What I'm saying is like, you could say, oh, I decided to change my life around and I found Jesus. Okay, great. Are you living your life according to what Jesus said? Are you living your life according to what someone else says? Like, and then you have the chance of relapse. Like, this whole idea seems to me like you're getting rid of all the things that make you a bad person or whatever. But those things can still come back, can't they? You're not getting rid of them permanently. You can relapse. Like, this is nothing tangible.
I think what they did was they took the word alchemy and they applied it to this. In other words, changed its meaning a little bit for the spiritual alchemy than it would be for transforming chemicals into different chemicals.
Sure, I get that. I mean,
So,
like with someone who's like, say, an addict, like that's a substance that they put into their body or whatever it might be. And when you can say they're clean, they're not doing it anymore, but still, that is you have to put that thing into the body in order to geek you up, right? And if you're not doing it, you're not going to get fucked up. When it comes to something like this, which is all spiritual, there's nothing that you can measure it by. It's all based on that person's word.
Well, that's when
Well, it's
whenever
self.
you add the word spiritual, you're going to get that.
Yeah.
Spiritual is always going to be based in faith. Period. End of story.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, look what's going on in the world today. I mean, you got countries killing each other because of faith, what they want to believe in.
My
Don't
God
go with
has
the
a
George
bigger
Carlin.
dick
We
than
know where
your
you're going
God.
with that. I can see it already.
Jews, Christians, Muslims all taking a chance killing each other because God thought it was a good idea.
To me, so it comes down to when you're dealing with spiritual anything. It comes down to faith, and that's a very hard thing to
gauge.
take from somebody or to gauge. I can't come to you and say, "Well, you believe in Jesus this much." It's like being a little pregnant. You can't.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's true.
all right. How strong is your faith? That is the stupidest fucking question. How strong is your faith? Well, yeah, I really believe in Jesus, but when do you think he can walk on water? Okay. Do you think he can turn water into wine? No, he can't do that. But you can walk on water. So at that point, either you're fucking totally delusional, or your faith is going to take you to the next level. And your faith is going to dictate to. So you're right. You can't gauge it. You can't sit there and say, well, there's certain, from 1 to 10, I'm a 5 on a Christian scale or whatever.
No, that's fair.
So,
but like that's what I'm sitting there like I don't
that's
want
why I
to.
think alchemy is a wrong word for this.
Yeah, maybe because I don't want to hear any like when someone's
No,
like I'm.
it's the right word because you're changing yourself from. You're removing, like, just like in metal, you're removing the impurities to make a better metal.
Okay, fine.
And you're removing the impurities in your life to make yourself better. You could sit there and say, does it work? Does it gauge? Whatever you want. But if somebody who's sitting there going through this spiritually and using these things and it works on them, just like someone if going to church works for them, you could sit there and say the same thing.
Help me feel better.
Exactly.
This is why I'm very.
Trust me, you don't know the half of the shit
There's
that I know
a ton
about
of
this
people
man.
that don't keep.
Not
any
trying
kind
to
of
air your
faith.
shit out like that, but
No, I know.
There's a ton of people that will never see the inside of a church, but they're also going to be
Joshua.
very, very good people. And it's not your case of what you believe in or you don't believe in. You can be a great
He's
person.
never seen the
You could
inside of
feed the
church.
homeless.
He
You can,
has, but-
you can volunteer at a soup kitchen, or you can do whatever the fuck you want to do, but you're not religious.
Well, that's why
So-
I tell people I don't want to hear about being reborn or your faith, and like keep it to yourself. I'd rather like show me like just be a good, decent person.
Well, that's don't tell me
Don't
about the pain. Show
flaunt
me
it.
the baby.
Exactly.
I mean,
Don't
that's-
flaunt. Well, I do this because I'm reformed. No, you did it because you're afraid of going to hell. Now, if you did it because it's the right thing to do, that's a different story. Keep your religion yourself. I don't want to hear about it.
Yeah, like how it's like
freedom of speech.
well, kind of going off the topic, but it's just like the right thing to do. Like you see someone that's hungry and they're like, it's cold outside. They just want something warm to eat. They're not even asking you for money. They're like, yo, can you just hook me up with some food? Like at that point, what do you do?
I check to see if they're wearing the same shoes. If they're wearing matching shoes, I don't give them anything.
Anywho.
You asked the right question to
person.
the wrong guy. That's what you
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
I have no impurities.
But that's the thing when
There's a
it
lot of
comes to this. I don't think it.
It's gonna take a lot of alchemy.
I don't
You
think
need a lot of alchemy in your life.
Without-
Muay Thai and alchemy.
No, with the Muay Thai.
I think with alchemy, I don't think it goes more, at least the spiritual side. I don't think it goes with the acts you do afterwards. I think it's just these are the processes in which to make yourself feel better, to get the impurities out of your life. If you want to go through this stuff, here are the steps to do it.
So then you have to keep yourself clean.
I'm gonna say something, and being the oldest one in this fucking room, I'm gonna tell you. Sometimes it really doesn't care. It doesn't matter what you think or how you feel. Okay, it doesn't matter. And I'll be honest with you. It doesn't matter how you feel about yourself. It's at the end of the day, it's if you can make something better for somebody else. Okay, so if you want to transform, you want to give up all these stages to become, the alchemy or whatever the hell it is, that's fine. But it's at the end of the day, if you can look at yourself in the mirror and go, Jesus fucking Christ, But at that day, you fed somebody that was hungry, or you clothed somebody that had no clothes. That's what's important. How you look at yourself is not. So transforming yourself, you need to transform everything around you. To be able to
you
be
got a
transformed.
point. I saw some shit the other day where homeboy was like, "Yo, it's not about you, man. It's about your last name. It's about what you push on for the next generation. It ain't all about you."
That's right. You gotta let
No,
the drunk go out of the trunk of your car.
I understand all that, and I get what that means, and
I don't get what that means.
You're never gonna
It's called
understand.
doing a good deed, West.
You're never gonna understand what he means. But what I understand is mostly like, yes, that all is a good thing. If you sit there and you have fed the hungry, clothed the naked, sheltered the homeless, that are all good acts. But if you still look in the mirror at the end of the day like that wasn't good enough, you still feel like a piece of shit. Something needs to change to make yourself feel better, because at one point that the weight of not love, looking in the mirror and be like, there's nothing I like that I do in my life, even if after I do all these good things, there's nothing in my life that I like. The weight of that is gonna keep that person in bed and not want to fucking do it.
That's
No,
a
you
different
can't-
story. Then
no.
that's going to be clinical depression, because at that point,
You need to lift some weights.
I don't see how you can help somebody.
It goes into the person's journey.
If you can help
Like,
somebody out,
if,
we'll get it on.
sorry,
Yeah,
if
no
weights
problem.
do you good, like if you feel better after weights, at least spiritually. I don't know how weights help you spiritually, but if that's your go-to, then
you sweat out your impurities.
then good. Like
That's
some people,
that's alchemy.
like
Sure.
Mama, our grandmother, towards the end of her life, every time she sat down every night, she would sit down, and we found many of them while cleaning out the house. She just would sit down and say the rosaries in her head every night.
Oh, you couldn't. I mean, just cleaning out the attic.
There's
just the
about
last
like 100 to 150 rosaries. Just
she had
scattered
rosaries, rosary beads everywhere. We're close to 1,000 now.
And to
in
her,
the 3.5 years that she's been dead.
and to her, that's the spiritual cleansing.
No, I think she was just a nut.
To you,
She was an overly religious,
again. That's to
old
you.
school Italian woman who was, I mean, her mother was the same way. I met my great
That's
grandmother.
up to
She
you,
was
then.
the same way. So this is what
Doesn't
this
make it
was
right or
her
wrong.
environment. Okay, so I mean, to me, there's overkill, and what I'm trying to say is you can have all the good intentions you want. You can sit there and say, you know what, I'm going to be great tomorrow. I'm going to love the world, and tomorrow I'm going to do this, and I'm going to feel great. Well, that's great. But if you don't do anything, if you don't make a move to help someone, or if you don't make a move to make something better, doesn't matter how you feel about yourself. And if you're still feeling, if you go out and hold on a minute, wait a minute, time out.
What this is about, though.
Let him cook.
Okay.
But I think you're misconstruing about what this
Let
is
him
about.
cook. Let him cook.
If you are going to go out and you're going to help people, and say you put a dinner on for 300 people, homeless people, and at the end of the day they're all smiling, their bellies are full, they're going to go home or they're going to go wherever.
You go back to the box.
Okay. The point is, you know what? A good person.
Wouldn't have said that.
No. A good person, after feeding all of the people and making them feel good, would be angry and upset that they're leaving to go back to their tent. And I'm
Sure.
not trying to make fun of anybody,
No.
but they was like, you know what, I fed him and that's great, but tomorrow I got to get him out of the tent.
Exactly.
I've got to help somebody. And then if you, at the end of the day, if you can do all that stuff and you feel good about yourself, that's great. Okay, I don't see how you cannot.
But you'll never feel good enough. Then at that point, if
Not
you're
good enough.
You'll
True
never,
words.
You'll never feel that at
No.
that point.
Exactly.
You
You'll
always
just
go.
you'll keep chasing just the act of doing good deeds to prove something to yourself, and it's not because you're doing good deeds out of the goodness of your heart at that point. It's
I
just
think
because
it's
you're
two separate subjects
Yes.
that we're talking
yes.
about here.
We're talking like motivation, clinical depression.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because I think when
I threw
that-
alchemy with you there.
this
just to
is
kinda like,
this is more towards like spiritual stuff, and then just to feel good inside. Like I think there's a different. I don't think
Man.
helping the homeless is going to sit there and like spiritually make you feel better.
You know,
yeah,
it
well,
could-
you
it
never know.
could.
You never know. You never. It's
could.
the act of doing the deed.
you
Yeah.
know? So
See,
but that's what I'm saying. If these steps help someone feel spiritually closer to whatever they're looking, I don't know if alchemy has like a god or anything like that. I don't think it is. I think this is just
It's
a
more,
step.
it's more of a philosophy.
Exactly. So I don't think it's like a religion. If spiritually it helps you to be better at or closer to whatever person or deity or whatever,
Right.
then
It's a
who
way.
are we to say it's a bad thing?
No, I'm not saying it's a
You
bad
know?
thing. I think it's a way of cleansing the negativity from your life, and then through the good deeds afterwards helps keep it cleansed. And that's what I was saying before. I'm like, what are you doing after you call yourself cleansing? You go through all these fucking steps. If you're just gonna sit on your couch and play with your dick, then you haven't done anything. But if you're gonna go out and you're gonna help people and you're gonna feed feed and
Well, it depends.
clothe, then I can understand. Like, oh,
I-
you're not just saying to me that you're spiritually clean. You're showing to me
Well,
that you're spiritually clean.
I know we're going a little overboard, and we'll cut some time off the ending of this episode. But I honestly I don't know. I don't think you need to sit there and show that you're spiritually clean. I just don't think you need to. I think you just need to cut out the bad things that you were doing beforehand. Like, I'm not saying like if you're sitting there like, I don't know, whatever bad thing spiritually you're doing, and you're not doing it after you go through this, and you continue not doing it, I think at that point it did work. You're continuing the practices of what this is supposed to be.
I guess.
You know, I don't think you need to sit there and go, okay, if I wasn't feeding the homeless, now I am feeding the homeless. Look at me, alchemy, spiritual alchemy is working. I don't think I don't think it was meant for that.
Golly.
Yeah, like I think it's like, okay, I stopped doing these things. These things are bad part of my
I
life.
stopped beating my wife. I feel better now.
And who knows? You know, like
my
I
God.
stopped this thing. This is what helped me stop
I'm
it.
beating the dog and feeling great about myself.
And that's what it is. So, again, Joshua, we turn to you towards the end of this segment. What do you feel?
Close out the segment.
I don't want to do this podcast anymore.
There you have it, folks. Alchemy.
Oh, seriously though, like, what is your take on the spiritual alchemy steps and whatnot?
Yeah.
You're going to an atheist to ask that question.
Yeah,
That's like going to Colonel Sanders
hold
and asking
on,
what his favorite burger
that's
is.
what's it's called getting a different perspective.
Okay.
All right, I'm not gonna. If I want a different perspective on God, I'm not gonna go to a priest and be like, "Hey, please let me know what your take on God is."
Yeah, but at the same time, Joe, you can't go the other route either. You can't go to someone who is like, I know nothing of
well,
this.
no, you go to two and you take the points of.
All right,
both
did you
of
ask him
them.
a question? Joshua, did you get the question?
You take the points of both of them and then you sit there and mix them together and you bring out your own points. That's how all that stuff works.
That's called a conversation, sir.
Exactly. There you
Joshua.
go.
I was trying to speak, but you mother-loving Italians like to talk over people. So what I was going to say, in my opinion, is that the spiritual alchemy kind of just seems like the core of religion when it comes to getting rid of the old and trying to make yourself a better person, because most religions say that. Just don't be an asshole, don't be bad, don't do evil deeds, be a good person, help out who you can, and stuff like that. Like, to me, the only connection I'm making is like it sounds like religion, for at least for the spiritual one,
All right, I can see that.
because it's like it's saying things, but at the end of the day, all you're really doing is
being a
just
good person.
being a good person and not doing what you were doing before. That's all it is.
It's just another philosophy with a different name.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so we're going to take another short break, and we're going to come back and we're going to close this episode. So please go listen to some of our sponsors. We'll be right back. Calling all cat lovers. Are you tired of your furry friend taking over your living space? Say hello to Cat Cave Co., your one-stop shop for all things stylish cat furniture. Their modern designs seamlessly blend into your home decor while providing your cat with a cozy sanctuary of their own. Discover the perfect piece for your feline friend today using the link in the description and reclaim your space without compromising your style. Your cat will thank you.
Hey, fellow truth seekers. Want to take your love for the Is This Real podcast to the next level? Check out our exclusive merchandise line designed for curious minds like yours in mind. From comfy tees and hoodies to stylish mugs and accessories, our merchandise is the best way for you to show your passion for unraveling the mysteries of the fucking universe. Visit our online store at isthisrealpc.com and gear up to explore the universe in style. Don't just listen, wear your curiosity with pride with Is This Real podcast merchandise.
Hey there, fellow truth seekers. Are you ready to dive deep into the mysteries of the universe? Look no further than isisraelpc.com, your one-stop destination for all things mysterious and unexplained. From captivating podcast episodes to thought-provoking articles, our website is packed with fascinating content that will leave you questioning reality. Visit isisraelpc.com today and join our community of curious minds as we explore the unknown together. Don't just wonder, discover the truth today at isisraelpc.com. And welcome back to the end of our episode. As we end this episode with alchemy, a good conversation about spirits, spiritual, and making better, but you don't look pleased at all.
I gotta take a shit.
Again, do you want me to write a board every time you have to take a shit?
I haven't said it on camera yet, so I figured now's the time.
Thank you.
Take a fucking tally with how many times he said it.
Oh, he hasn't done any more tiable offense this episode.
Yeah, and I make fun of people on the spectrum too.
You didn't really make fun of him,
Well,
though.
you
No, I didn't. I just said I
He
did.
said he did, but he didn't
Yeah.
say the name. He didn't say the names. He didn't say the
I didn't
names.
say what I.
He didn't say names. He didn't say
No,
exactly.
he didn't say exactly what he was saying.
Those would be the most valuable.
Yeah.
You have to sit down and watch it on Netflix, and
I'd have to.
then you'd have to hear it.
Yeah. Okay. So, do we have anything else to talk about as far as alchemy? Like, my question is, do you believe
No.
in the rules of alchemy?
There's some.
We have someone who went through it,
There's some type of like truth to it,
and he's
It's
definitely
just-
a better person now than I remember than what he was 10 years ago. I could say,
He's a dick. You know that?
I could say,
I don't.
but-
I don't take any insult.
but
I think you're the same Eric you've always been. Brutally honest.
I will say to us, he's been the same Eric.
Yeah.
To Joey, it's a little bit different.
it's a little different. The shit that I remember.
Let's not go into
Oh
that.
no, I'm not going full detail, but I'm saying like the shit that I remember. He was definitely a little more wild than what he is now. He is toned down a lot, and I applaud him for that. Like,
Good game. Good game.
I'm so happy. It's like I hated him our freshman year. Legitimately, he hated me.
Wild behavior.
Like that's what it is. Like he was, it is what it is.
Well, there was other nefarious activities I was involved
A
in.
lot of nefarious activities. So,
Okay.
but that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know when exactly you went through this alchemic process. That's a word.
After I got arrested the second time.
You didn't even know he was arrested the first time. So yeah,
I gotta stop hanging behind that dumpster behind Walmart, man.
Wow.
do we need him on the podcast?
No.
I'm
Okay.
thinking of you mean yeah, you can't even talk. Fuck it.
Okay. Yes, sit there and look pretty.
But yeah, there's like the spiritual part of it. It's like kind of like any other philosophy in my opinion. Not any other philosophy. Just it reminds me a lot of Buddhism. There's a lot of those type of roots within it. It could be old. I think it is older than Buddhism, so they probably got their roots from that. All religions got like some sort of truth to it. Like what Joshua was saying, just be a good person. Don't
Well, a root. I don't
there-
know
there's
about
all-
truth, but
like there's root. Well, it's individual truth, but then again, that goes into faith and shit.
Yeah.
But there's, in my opinion, did it work for me? Not really. But there were some things that I found out that I was just like, okay, this is cool. But it's cool to like look at it.
did
from
you
a, like-
apply any of these things to your day-to-day life?
Yes.
There
Yes.
you go.
And then that's what kind of like helped me build a foundation and then the discipline of being a good person.
There you go. So we have living proof that some of it can work.
I'm a good person by nature. I don't need
You're
this.
not a good person.
I'm a very good person.
You are not a good
I
person.
teach children.
That's
That's
what
not-
makes you a
that's
bad
not-
person.
That's not.
Dad, do you believe anything? The alchemic processes.
Physically and or spiritually.
Physically, yes, because it's the fact that the proof is there. I mean, in chemistry and stuff. As far as spiritual, I just think it's like anything else. I mean, you can call it what you want to call it, and that's fine. You want to call it alchemy? Okay, that's alchemy then. But it just seems to me you're giving a name to a process that you're bettering yourself. It's like going to what do you call it? A doctor, and or what a psychological doctor, and saying, you got to help me. I want to change my life or whatever. Is that alchemy, or is that, is that what is it? What would you call
Take
it?
a responsibility and understanding your behavior.
Well, no,
and
Exactly.
Yeah,
process.
alchemy,
I mean,
this is
again,
not-
again, you want to call it alchemy.
Some
All right,
people call it therapy.
arguably, I can understand it could be
No, alchemy is all about self stuff, though. You're
all right,
not
that's
going to
fine. So
someone-
by taking the initiative of calling this doctor and going to the doctor, you have done that. It doesn't mean you got to do it alone. It means that you can seek professional help.
that's not what the steps are, but if you think that's what alchemy is, then
Well, I'm gonna. You know what? That's my definition of alchemy. I mean, so.
okay, Joshua.
The spiritual, it's more on the religious side or faith side. very, very similar. So I won't say anything about it. It's just like nonsense to me. With the regular alchemy itself, technically, I could say I believe in it because it is what led to chemistry.
Agreed.
In that sense, like mixing things, trying to make things, stuff like that. That's basically the core of chemistry. At least that's what I think it is.
All right. Do we have anything else to add for this episode?
Negative.
No?
No.
No?
My eyes are turning brown.
Good for you. We'll catch you next week. Thank you for joining our episode. Please go follow all of our social medias. You'll hear all the social medias at the end of the episode anyway. And we'll see you next week as we continue our season 13. Everyone say goodnight.
Adios,
All right.
motherfuckers.
Yeah, to me.
Good night, everybody.
We'll catch you next week. Remember, everybody, question everything. Good night. I think there's a difference between numerology and then we're talking about like lucky or unlucky numbers.
Same shit.
No, I think there's a difference because they're not talking like numerology is adding up using those and
Well, unlucky numbers would fall into the superstitious aspect of what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. I think when you talk about 13, I think when you talk about the angelic numbers, when you talk about something like the 27 Club or anything like those.
So angelic numbers has nothing to do with any of this stuff.
I don't think so. There's nothing in that I've read where angelic numbers. That's more religious based or anything like that. Like I think angelic numbers like 444 or something like that.
Yeah, they're like those triple numbers, like
Yeah.
111, 222.
So I don't think it has like this is a pseudoscience. Hey there, fellow truth seekers. Are you ready to dive deep into the mysteries of the universe? Look no further than isisraelpc.com, your one-stop destination for all things mysterious and unexplained. From captivating podcast episodes to thought-provoking articles, our website is packed with fascinating content that will leave you questioning reality. Visit isisraelpc.com today and join our community of curious minds as we explore the unknown together. Don't just wonder, discover the truth today at isisraelpc.com.